We've got another pile of parts to get through today because we got the engine in the bay. What's up, y'all? Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. We are making some pretty good progress. We got the engine into the bay. Exciting times. It seems like this thing has been out forever, kind of has been, but yeah, we're cooking now. So we got lots of stuff to do, lots of things to put on, wiring to finish up, just a bunch of stuff. So let's go ahead and dive in. We got lots of stuff to work through here. We got parts here, parts in there, electrical stuff to work on. I don't think I want to get to the oil cooler just yet, but we got new starters, just lots and lots of things to accomplish. And I just can't quit looking at this thing now that it's in the bay. Look at this. First things first, I think we'll go ahead and put on the starter plate and the starter itself that goes on the bottom of the motor there. We got all new hardware for that, some titanium mixed in there, and ooh, check this out. I got some OEM wire clips that like clip into the frame. Pretty cool. Now I don't have to use these old crusty poopy ones. All right, let's bolt you right here. Oh, this feels so weird. It's a welcomed weird, but weird nevertheless. Get in there, my guy. See how that one goes in? That's what you need to do. Why you do this to me? Now you're doing what you're supposed to do. Hello? When do you plan on getting tight? There we go. I was like, is the hole stripped out and we're just spinning here? 10 Newton meters on the flange bolts and 9 on the bolt with the washer. Plus or minus 1 and plus or minus 2 on those. So I'm just going to do them both at 10 and call it good. Starter plate is, well, that's not technically the starter plate, but it's where the starter goes. So that's what I'm calling it. And now we get to install the starter. This one gets the long bolt, I assume, and this one gets the shorty. Normally, I wouldn't trust like aftermarket stuff like this, but this is an STM starter, and since the OEM ones are discontinued, I figured I would give it a whirl. And much like the AC unit, we'll see how long it gets us, and we can go from there. It goes in from this side. See? That's much better. Now, we will check torque specs again. And that looks like 23 foot-pounds and 23 foot-pounds. So, click, click, boom. Now, we're gonna reinstall this because I was afraid I was gonna bend it, so I took this thing off. Get our little shield back on there. That thing looks so good. And while we're at it, we might as well put this. I'll need to go back and, well, I think I still have. I got access. There's a bolt on here in the manual. The torque specs have an asterisk next to it, and generally that means that for some reason it needs to be like, have all the weight of the motor and stuff on it before you tighten it down. So this bolt here, not sure if you can see it or not, but this bolt up top here and then this bolt right here has to be tightened after we got all the weight on there, which we do now, but I think I'll wait a little bit longer before I go and tighten those down. Now, I'm just gonna go through and snug down these valve cover bolts, and they go to like 3 Newton meters, something like that. And so I don't have a torque wrench that small, so I'm gonna have to go get one of those in a minute. But I'm just gonna snug them down, and we will stick the spark plugs in. We won't torque those down either, but we'll get them in the holes at least till I can go get that torque wrench. But 3 Newton meters is not very much at all. My digital torque wrench goes all the way down to 4.3 Newton meters, and I just don't want to over tighten them. 1 Newton meter probably wouldn't do a whole lot, maybe. I don't know, but it's a specific torque for a reason. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I also don't want to have a cracked valve cover because I just ain't nobody got time for that. We are running the NGK laser iridiums. Now, I will probably have to take these back out and properly gap them and all that. For now, we'll put them in there, and when the time comes, we'll see what the tuner wants or whatever. I'm sure there's like a gap that I should probably put it to before I get to that point, but I'll look that up in the meantime and do that at some other point. But I just want to get the plugs in there so we can get the coil pack on and the engine looks a little bit more complete. All right, if you've been following along, I have set this on here before to kind of see how it looked and everything. If you're new here, this is the coil pack, and I love this thing. Oh yeah, there we have it. Oh. Technically, after installing those plugs, I could erase this entire side of the board, but I won't because I want to keep track of what I've done. Next up, I think I want to finally install this feed line for the fuel, which goes right here. Now that we got the engine back in here, I feel like in my head, I'm just full speed and I want to get as much on this thing as I can, but I need to like go through the process and make sure I'm getting everything properly mounted and all that. It's very easy to get ahead of yourself, but this is all very, very exciting stuff. Now, the feed will go right here, and then this is the return line that runs along. I'm gonna run it along the bottom side of the, well, not all the way down here, but like right through here behind the injectors. I'll run the return all the way in back over here into this little guy right there. But not right now, because I have to do a bunch of stuff to that. I have to measure it, cut it, put the end on there and all that, and so we'll leave that there for the time being. Next up to install is the heater core lines. We got some new of those as well, and I went through a while back and looked at the old ones that came off of the car. Come on. And there we go. And I marked it, which one went to the water pipe, etc. I even marked it where like there's a 1 on this tape and then there's a 1 on this tape, just so I would know if I really lost track of what I was doing. That's pretty funny. The cool part about this heater core line is it came with brand new clips or clamps. And these clamps, I don't know, I tried to find some of these, but there's so many like shitty ones online, I feel like. I ordered a bunch of like Mishimoto and Radium ones before, so I've been using those, but like I'm glad this came with the clips. And from OEM, they're like already like, they have a clamp on there. It's probably super blown out with the light right over there, but you gotta pull this thing off and that will cause the spring clamp to close, which I think is pretty cool as well. Now I need to look because one of these is not like the other. This one is black with a red thing, and these three are all the same. So this one must go somewhere special. So let me look that up real fast and see what we can figure out. Okay, so from what I can gather on my old images and stuff I've seen online, this hose here on the stock one, it has 2 dots right there, and the black clamp was on that end. So this one goes to the back of the block area here, and then this one here goes to, like I said, the water pipe, and it just has the regular clamps. 1 regular clamp on the firewall there. This one goes on, I guess it's like a high pressure area, I'm assuming. Not 100% sure, but we'll put it how they came off. I'm not gonna release those clamps yet, just because I wanna make sure we don't need to move them or take them off or whatever. So I will write that on my board to check that later, but they're on there now. Next up, we're going down under. Going under right here to work on some wiring for the pressure sensor. No shop that goes like that. It definitely doesn't go like that. Maybe that is how it goes. We'll put that in place. I think that's how it goes. Okay, well, give me a sec here, and I'm gonna run this crazy wire that comes off this little pressure sensor here, and we should be all right. All right, I got this thing taken care of, all nice and clean in there. Got everything snapped in. We got some wire loom started with some Tessa tape going down through there, and I got a little bit carried away, and we are starting to get the whole harness here done. I got wires going absolutely everywhere. We're trying to figure out, well, not really figure out where they're going, but figure out how we're going to route them. I know where they all go. I just, I've plugged in a few things and stuff like that, and we now have what seems like a lot of extra slack for some things, so I might be able to run this how I want to. So I'm going to continue working on this. I won't show you guys all this. It's pretty boring stuff with just being wiring, but I will show you as we make progress on down the line here, and hopefully we can have some of these wires hidden and ran a little bit differently than they were.
Much later.
Well, there's no going back now. We got stuff spread out absolutely everywhere, but I've got tape that's color coded to where, like, I know that bunch was together, I know this bunch was together, etc., etc. Now I can just go through. I'm thinking about depinning some of these clips because the wires are just so tangled up in there. I've been thinking about that for the last little bit, but I think I'm going to. That way I can get everything split apart, everything's in its own little strand, and then I can plug everything in, and then we can reloom everything and go that way. But this has very quickly turned into a no turning back kind of project, and so here we are.
Much later.
This looks like a mess, and it is, but I got an idea of where everything is going and where everything is running. I'm in the process now of depinning this O2 sensor so I can get this red wire. It's kind of like intertwined in all the other red wires there, and I need it to be separated so I can split it and run it all into each individual loom. I think, let me get up here. Right here at the end of this wire loom is where I want everything to come to all together, and then from here it can split and go where it needs to go. I've got everything like kind of taped as to where it goes. I got things plugged in, just trying to map it out. This is taking forever because it's wiring, and so yeah, we're working, getting some progress done here, but just thought I'd pop in, show you where we're at, and yeah.
One eternity later.
Okay, we have been at this for literal hours, but we got quite a bit of stuff done here. I think everything is ran to where it's supposed to go. We got a lot of excess wire here for this sensor on the thermostat area. We had that was in some other kind of harness, and we undid all that and ran it this way. So lots of extra room there. For some reason, the map sensor is a little tight now. It can't really reach over there, so I'm gonna either look for a pigtail harness, or I'm gonna figure out how I can get it over there without it being tight. I ran it along through this way, so maybe if I take it out of here and it's not running that extra little bit, we'll have enough space to get over there. But I'm still finagling with everything, just getting it right where I want it and getting it with enough space, all that kind of stuff. But we're taping it with like one roll of tape around the harness so I can like just hold it just to see where I want it all to go. And so we just kind of been doing that. We unpinned quite a few pins down there. We broke all of them, but luckily Ohm Racing has all those connectors. So I went on their site and looked to see what connectors they offered, and then I disconnected or unpinned those connectors. So if I did break one, I could order new connectors, and we did just that because they're so old and brittle. Trying to depin them, the little arm in there you have to lift up on the pin to get it to slide out, just broke off on every one of them. So yeah, got to order a bunch of connectors, but we're getting lots and lots done on this wiring. This has taken me literally all day almost, and so I got into a groove and just started going. It seemed pretty daunting at first, but once I started, it really wasn't all that bad. I'm not really cutting anything, nothing like that, so I'm just moving wire. So it's just, once it's unloomed and untaped together and all that kind of stuff, it's really easy to work with. But anyway, I'm gonna have to be getting into the truck here soon, so I think it's about high time we take off this plastic that's been on there for months. I don't even remember when I put this on. Yeehaw. Really the next step, I made a new sheet of paper for my list of things here. We have the list on the wall and we have this one. So yeah, next step really is throttle cable. I don't really want to put that in there just yet because it's a big long cable and I don't want it to be in the way while I'm doing all this stuff in here. So I want to hold off on that as long as possible. And then we have like some stuff to button up on the power steering. And then really the next step after that is putting on the manifold. And I was trying to hold off on that as long as I could so I didn't get fingerprints and stuff on it, but it really is the next step. So We'll do the manifold in the next video. I want to do its own separate video for just that. And then really it's just turbo, O2 housing, intercooler piping, downpipe, mid pipes, oil cooler kit over there, and just all that kind of stuff, radiator intake, everything like that. And so I personally think it's about to get real fancy in this engine bay here, even more fancy than it is now. I can't quit looking at it now that it's in here. It just looks, it's just coming together so nice. And so we'll button up the wiring in the next video as well, because those connectors should be here by then, so we can go ahead and get that taken care of, get that out of the way, and then we can move on from that. And yeah, I'm excited. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it very much. As always, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you next time. Bye.